Welcome to our last week of our new coach training. This week, our focus is on getting people results. And I'm so super excited that you are here, that you are taking time out of your busy day to either be on live or to catch this recording. And again, today we're going to be focusing big time on getting people results. So we're going to start with what our agenda is for today. We're going to talk about some of our takeaways. We are going to go over goal review, Groups 101, rules of engagement, and kind of what's next. So a takeaway that I wanted to share with you guys is if you're not in control of your time, you're not in control of your results. And the reason why I feel like that is so huge is because if we don't manage our day will run us from the time we wake up in the morning till the time our head hits the pillow. We're going to be playing that reaction type game all day long versus being in control of exactly where we're going, having that plan in place, following that plan, knowing at what time we're going to be doing each thing. And I'm not saying that you have to schedule everything down to the minute, but what I am saying is having that structure and having that plan will help you for when life does throw curveballs, for you to be able to realign yourself and know exactly what's happening next, to prioritize what's most important. So you know where your focus and your energy needs to go, especially when life is extra crazy. I know a lot of us have outside obligations, obviously outside of coaching and outside of our own health and wellness journey. And so being able to make the most of our time and being in control of it, even if you're totally a type B personality like me, I know it will benefit you so much because the more organized I've gotten, the more success I've seen. And I know that that goes across the board for everyone. So we're going to talk about time blocking real quick, and we're going to talk about doing it in 3 different ways. We're going to talk about strategic time blocking, buffer time blocking, and breakout time blocking. I know up to this point, we've kind of just said, hey, have your day planned out from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Like, what does that look like for you? Schedule in the most important stuff. But today we're going to take it a step further and really focus on things that you can do to strategize your day to help you to be the most productive, the most focused, the most intentional with the time that you do have. So strategic blocks don't have to be these like rock solid 3-hour time blocks. But what I call this is my focus time. My strategic blocks are when I'm very focused, even if it's just 15 minutes or 30 minutes. And I kind of will ask myself, what do I need to do to get focused? And what do I need to get done in this period of time where I have no other distractions? For me, a lot of the time, that's before my kids wake up. One of my big goals this summer outside of my Tuesday trainings is to be done with my work by 12 p.m. so that the rest of my time and my energy can go to my kids. So I know that that means my mornings have to be my magic space. They have to be where I'm focused and intentional. Do you need that focused time to write posts? Do you feel like you get distracted and it gets really hard for you to sit down and type up what's on your heart and what you want to share about for the day? Do you feel like you need that quiet, intentional time to be able to crank out some reels and have them pre-recorded and saved to your camera roll or saved to your drafts folder on your Instagram or your Facebook or your TikTok? Do you need that quiet, intentional time to send out voice memos and invites to people, to respond to those likes, comments, and views, to get into your DM and respond to people and not feel so distracted in your messages? I know some people, which we're going to talk about this in just a minute, can do a lot of these things while simultaneously like doing other things. I know for me, when I'm writing a post, I need quiet, intentional time because I'm speaking my heart, I'm speaking my truth. And for me, when my kids are like trying to talk to me or I'm getting distracted or I have other things that are going on at the same time, I cannot focus and get that post written. It will take me 30 or 40 minutes to write a post where it could take me 5 if I sat down with that intentional, like focused time. So looking for those areas that you feel like maybe the distractions are not serving you and breaking those things out into a strategic time block for yourself will be huge, will be such a game changer for you. Buffer blocks. Now, this is what I like to call the unfocused time, meaning time during the day when I can rock multitasking like a boss. I know for me, I can do a lot of things while my kids are still awake. But one of the things, again, that I struggle with that I need a strategic block for is writing my posts. So buffer blocks can be these unfocused times where we can multitask. One thing that I love to do is personal development while I'm multitasking. I'm taking a shower, I'm folding laundry, I'm doing dishes. I can do all of those things and listen to my personal development Like no big deal. Unless I'm sitting down to read a book, I don't really have to have that intentional time. And a lot of times I'll kind of save that for the evenings because that's one of my wind down things. So maybe for you, you can respond to likes, comments, and views. Maybe for you, you can do a reel while your kids are running around playing in the background. No big deal. I do a lot of reels with my kids, and that doesn't bother me at all. That's something I can easily do in a buffer block. Maybe you can do stories. I do stories all the time while I'm cooking, while I'm talking to my kids. My kids are interrupting me. Like for me, that's just something that's easy enough for me to do while I'm doing other things. We all know what works for us and what doesn't work for us, right? Like, are you feeling stressed trying to do certain things while being distracted? If so, that needs to go into a strategic block. If it's something like for me, personal development, doing stories, doing reels and things like that, I can do those distracted. It doesn't phase me whatsoever. So just sit down and think about what those things are for you. What is something you can do in your unfocused time? And then breakout blocks. And again, this isn't about having a 3-hour block of time because you're not solely a coach without anything else going on in your world, right? But this is a reminder to break out and have some fun and do something for you each week. And, each week for me, that looks a little bit different. Sometimes I'll go and I'll go get my nails done. Sometimes it just means running the bath and like reading in peace and quiet to myself and having a glass of wine, not while I'm on gut protocol, but usually I love just to do that. That's something that really fuels my soul and like fills my cup on a deeper, more meaningful level. For my husband, he loves to light up the barbecue pit. And that's something that's like a breakout thing for him that he really enjoys doing. He loves to cook. So that can be something like that. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not about going out and going and spending money. It's not about, anything like that. It's really about just doing something for yourself that will like fuel your soul on a deeper, more meaningful level, like taking a nap. Maybe you're exhausted and homegirl just needs a nap. Take that nap. You deserve to have that nap. Maybe go have dinner with a friend or, date night with your significant other or date with, sometimes I'll take my girls on like day dates. So these breakout blocks look different all the time for me, but the strategic and the buffer blocks, those are always pretty much the same. So for me, I personally, just to share what I do, I personally use these strategic blocks to write my posts and a lot of times to voice memo people because I don't want my kids screaming in the background while I'm trying to like voice memo someone. Cause to me, I find that disrespectful. Like I wouldn't want someone to voice memo me with a lot of chaos going in the background. Cause then sometimes, and we all know if you start a voice memo, like you can't just go backwards. Like once it starts playing, you have to let it play all the way through. I don't want them to have to go back and be like, I can't really hear what she's saying. Like, what is she trying to tell me? People won't listen to that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't listen to that. Like, don't voice memo me with craziness going on because likely I'm going to catch bits and pieces of what you're saying. And that just defeats the purpose, right? Because it's all about connecting with people. And I want to do that in a meaningful level. And I want them to know that like I respect their time for them to take the time out to listen to the voice memo. I want to cram everything in as short a time as I can possibly to make it, beneficial for them to listen to it. So those are the two things. Writing posts and doing my voice memos are like my strategic things. Now I can do pretty much everything else during a buffer block. I really can. I don't need a lot of strategic time in order to do a lot of these things. I can, easily send a quick message that's just a text like in my DMs to people. No big deal. I don't care if my kids are screaming in the background or not. It doesn't matter because I can easily do that. I am one of those people that can really like tune things out really well. And so I don't need strategic blocks for everything, just really those two things. So that way I'm making the most out of that time. So I always plan to do those things early in the morning before my kids are up, those two things, or I do them later in the evening after my kids go to bed because I know I need that strategic block. So just start thinking about what you would want for your strategic block, what you want and need for your buffer blocks. And then when it comes to the breakout blocks, I feel like as women as a whole, we have a hard time doing this, right? Like raise your hand if you have a hard time taking this time and creating space for you to do something that just fills your cup just because it's fun, just because it brings you joy, just because it feels good, just because it mentally like takes a load off. Like I have the hardest time with this and I literally have to schedule it in and remind myself, Katie, you haven't created any time or space for you this week. Like outside of your workout, you've got to create some kind of space for you to fill yourself back up because we cannot pour from an empty cup. We have to be pouring from an overflow, which means we've just got to create a little bit of space each week. Even just a small amount of time can do wonders for our mindset, and that affects how we show up in all areas of our life. So here we are at the end of May, and I want to quickly go over some goals because I know we kind of touched on goals a little bit. So I want to go over those a little bit and just touch on those right here. But we're at the end of May. No matter where you sit today, we're recasting our vision and setting goals for June, right? Like this has been a learning process. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, and we're here to start taking action that's going to move us in the direction that we want our business to go. So my goals for you guys by June 30th, which is an entire 30 days from now, is to not only hit Success Club in June, but also by the 30th of June to have hit Emerald in your business, which means you've brought on 2 preferred customers or 2 coaches, or 1 preferred customer and 1 coach on each leg by the end of June. That is 2 people, you guys. 2 people is totally possible, especially when you think that you can include people that really just want the discount on their programs and products. So you can look at current clients and invite them to become a preferred customer. And if you don't have any, just remember you have an entire 30 days to bring on 2 people that will get you to that Emerald rank. And the reason we're gunning to get you there is because that unlocks Team Cycle bonus for you. That unlocks an entire separate earning opportunity for you outside of just our commission-based structure. And that's something that you're always going to be building over time, but you have to start somewhere. And by starting now, you're unlocking that opportunity to start earning a secondary type of income. And I want that for everyone on our team. You'll start earning $14 every time you cycle. And that's not off of what you're doing. That's not off of new people you're bringing on. That's off of your preferred customers and coaches and their volume, which gets really exciting because every time you cycle, you earn that income by not doing anything. And I want that for everyone because I want y'all to have that additional residual income for, weeks where it may be a slow week for you. Maybe you don't bring on any new clients in a given week. No worries. You're still going to earn a paycheck because you're still getting Team Cycle bonus, which is really exciting. So then the goal is by the end of July 31st to not only hit Success Club in June and July, but also to hit Emerald on repeat, because that's going to open up our next training opportunity, which is going to be our Road to Diamond, which I'm super excited about. So no matter, again, where you're at on May 30th, May 31st, which is where we're at, no matter where you're at, you have an entire 30 days between now and then. So start thinking about the things that maybe you could be doing better. Maybe some things that there were areas where there were gaps this month as you were going through this training and learning these things. Let's look forward to next month and the areas that we can start implementing some of these things that you've learned and start taking action to move you closer to those goals, with sharing your journey, with talking to people and having conversations and inviting people to join you. So here we are. June 30th again is Emerald. So we'll be focusing on that, Emerald and Success Club. And then again, by July 31st, Success Club, but it'll be 4 active preferred customers / coaches, and you'll qualify for the next training. So just to kind of outline that a little bit. So here's your Success Club activity tracker, something that I'm just going to touch on, which I know we've touched on this every single week, so I'm not going to go deep into it. But what we're focused on today really is getting people results. So I always say our job as coaches starts once we have people join us. A lot of other MLMs and the way that other direct sales companies work, their job is over. Their customer or client gets their product, and at that point, they're kind of on their own. Well, for us, when our people join us, that's the beginning, because that's when we bring people into our community. That's when we start loving on them. That's when we start serving them. That's when we start coaching them. And that's when we really focus on getting people results, which is the biggest piece of what we do. And I was actually having a new coach one-on-one call right before this call. And I was telling her, when it comes to earning an income, when we get people results, that means we earn more income. That's just the way that it works. So your income is directly correlated to the impact that you have, because your clients and your coaches will continue on their journey if they're getting results. What does that mean for you as their coach? It means you continue earning an income off of each of those clients and coaches, because you're either earning Team Cycle bonus off of your preferred customers and coaches as they continue to place their recurring shipments off of using the things that they're using for their own journey and sharing about them, or you earn a commission off of your clients that continue using, Energize or Shakeology. For anybody that is a customer that's ordering Shakeology every month, you guys, you get a 25% commission off of that, meaning you get like $30, $25 off of each bag of Shakeology. So as we get people results, our income in and of itself and your income earning potential increases. So obviously we want to get people results regardless, because our number one job is to love and serve people and to inspire them on their journey. But that's directly correlated with what you'll be earning income wise. And so I feel like that's important to say, that how you show up as their coach is going to affect your income in the long run, which is kind of cool to know that we are in control of that. I know when I learned that, I was like, that's awesome. Obviously, you can't drag anybody on their journey. It's not about that. But what you can do is you can show up, you can lead by example, you can share about that, and you can reach out and connect with them and stay connected to them as they're on their journey to ensure that they are on the right path to getting those results themselves, because we all know that change lives change lives. And so as long as we're continuing on our journey and we're leading by example, our people, even if they happen to fall off, will come back. Even if it happens to be the wrong time or wrong season of life and they're just going through some really hard ish, no worries. Those people will come back to you when they are ready. And so again, it's not about dragging people, but it's about doing our due diligence to help them get results. So you know what the trackers look like. The other thing I want to mention real quick when it comes to the trackers is our team sat down, the leaders on our team sat down this last weekend and really got clear on what we want the community to look like and what we want, the team culture to be like moving forward. And one of the things that we all decided that we wanted to bring back are the live power hour opportunities to be able to work live with the leaders on our team. So for as of right now, you have opportunities each and every week to work live with Nicole and I Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and at 10 a.m. And I posted this to the header of our team page. So if you're looking for these times and the link and all of that, it's all there. So just go to the team page, but you can work live and go through this tracker live with Nicole and I, where we'll be guiding you and leading you and answering questions, but also with Erin on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 a.m. Due to her work schedule. So all of that's to say there will be opportunities every single day that you can hop on. And I'm also going to record a couple of them every week and post those to the team page for people that can't hop on live. But there will be multiple opportunities to be able to hop on live and work, and also some recorded options to walk with you through this. The good thing and the benefit of being on live though, is that you will have the opportunity to ask questions. So if you have questions as you're going through and doing these things, we can help you right there on the spot without you waiting to either plug into our thread to ask those questions. You can get those questions answered right then. We can walk you through conversations. If you feel like you're kind of at a sticking point or don't know how to respond to somebody, we can literally walk you through exactly how we would do that. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Now, the goal of groups, let's talk about that real quick, because the goal of groups is it's a safe place, right? To share their journey, to have fun, to stay accountable, to track results. And when you're tracking all of those things and having fun on your journey, that's what leads to results, which again is our main focus today, is getting our people results. When you are getting people results, people want to pay it forward. They do, because it is changed lives, changing lives. And you can see here is my girl, Christina, and she has been a part of my community for years. And she and I have actually finally got to meet in person. She's not a coach, but she's a client that has been one of mine for a long time, like I said. And she is one of those that's a lifer. She will always be a lifer. She loves Beachbody. She loves the flexibility of our workout plans. And she shares what her journey looked like. Inside of the community, she's using this to inspire others and talking about that. And we want people to want to share things like this, to want to open up. And when you create a safe environment for them to do that, they will always do that. And they will continue showing up time and time again, even if life gets kind of crazy at different points in time. So when is the best time as a new coach to open my own group? I would say now, but by like June 6th. I would at least have a bod group open. I'm going to give you guys, until next Tuesday, but I would at least have a bod group open of your own. And what a lot of my coaches do that are my personally sponsored coaches, and what I suggest to everyone in these trainings is to be a part of our bigger community, to be plugged into something that is so much bigger than just, you or just a handful of people, because that creates inspiration and momentum on your journey. But that one-on-one connection that you can really truly have with your clients comes from knowing what they're doing, comes from checking in with them every day, comes from linking arms and really being on the journey with them and you leading them as their coach. So I always suggest having your own bod group open, even alongside my community, just so that they can be a part of the bigger picture, but also have that one-on-one accountability with you and that leadership from you as their coach. So my goal would be by June 6th, if you're, going to branch out and do this. Now, obviously I suggested bod groups. Everyone has to have a bod group open in order to earn some really cool free perks from Beachbody. But also I suggest having one just because it allows you, they can share their badges with you as they complete programs, as they, hit milestones with their Shakeology, and if they're doing cycle, and if they're, doing a program from start to finish. So I love that aspect of it. And you as their coach can actually see what they're logging, and you can connect and communicate with them really easily all inside of the Beachbody On Demand app, which they're already using for their workouts and for their journey. So I feel like it's a no-brainer to have that. But you could also run a group on Facebook if you would rather do that. And so obviously our big community is there. It's totally up to you if you want to run a separate group. I know for some of my coaches, they're doing different things with their fitness journey. And so some of them are running a separate Facebook group, and they love that because they're able to really connect with their people that are only doing Lift 4 or only doing, these certain things, because they're able to connect and do those things together. I will say Facebook is a little bit better for doing live videos and, kind of that overall community piece of it, but bod groups is by far way better for tracking. So if you're already a part of the big community and you plan to continue to utilize that, you can obviously add your new people to the big community. But I would say outside of that, you still need one or the other. And, bod groups, like I said, I feel like is awesome for the tracking purposes and stuff. So let's talk about different types of groups you can have. So you can have an ongoing group, or you can have a program specific group. So an ongoing group is something you'll always be inviting to, and people can start whenever they want. That's a pro to it. If someone doesn't want 4-week gut protocol, they can still join you and do body or bar or another program, totally up to them. The only downside I would say to the ongoing groups is the onboarding process is a little bit more challenging. You have to have a plan in place to make sure that you're getting people started right and you're staying connected to them, because if not, if you just throw them in a group, it can be really easy to get kind of lost in the sauce. And so you want to make sure that they're getting onboarded properly and that you're checking in with them daily for the first couple of weeks. And then after that, beyond that, probably a few times a week. Program specific groups, they're easier to get people started right because everyone starts on the same day. So for example, with Fire and Flow coming up, we're going to have a Fire and Flow, like entire, separate thing. And with that, we're kicking off prep week on the 6th and we'll officially kick off on the 13th. So everyone is starting on the same day, and energy is super high with things like that. So the only downside I would say to program specific groups is if you don't have a plan for what's next when it ends, it can be really hard because sometimes people will fall off, and you want to ensure that you help people specifically for them find a plan for what's next until they get really used to doing that on their own, which means you kind of hand-holding them and guiding them through their first few programs to make sure that they feel confident in what they're doing, and knowing how to navigate the Beachbody On Demand library and knowing what workouts would probably align with their goals and that kind of thing. And I don't expect y'all to have all of the information on that, but I've done pretty much every program, or at least tried all of the programs in the library. So if y'all ever have questions, come to me, because I can help you guide your people to what would be a next good option for them. I know for me, when I had a lot of people ending job 1, they were like, well, I don't know what to do next because I really don't have 30 minutes. I only have 20 minutes. And so I can't do one of these longer programs. And so we talked through them doing another round of job 1. for the busy season that they were in. I talked them through 22-minute hardcore because that's a program that's 22 minutes. I talked them through T25 because it was only 25 minutes, and kind of said, like, you have some options that are under 30 minutes. If this is what you're needing, here are the ones that are the options. This is what I would suggest. And so just always guiding them to what's next is super helpful when you have like a program specific group like that. And then as far as assignments, I want you to set a date this week. Your number one goal is to set a date for when you are going to open up your own group. And again, I suggest doing it by the 6th. But I'm going to leave it up to you. I just want you to get it set up. I want you to learn about the group and start taking action in it, figuring out what you need to do, even if that's, pre-scheduling posts, reaching out to your current clients and inviting them to be a part of it, or maybe just having it all set up and ready to rock and roll. So when you do add new people to it, it's already got the cover photo, it's already set up and ready to go. And you can kind of start inviting based on, okay, this group is open, so this is what I'm inviting to. And I'm going to get people plugged in, and I'm excited because we're going to link arms and we're going to do this together. I would say commit to the 80-20 rule when it comes to your tracker. This is not your nutrition. I know obviously that applies to nutrition. And for those of you that have been around a while, you've probably heard that when it comes to nutrition, but I want you to commit to the 80-20 rule with your business and with your tracker. 20% leave room for grace because life is not perfect. But 80%, I want you to make sure that you're completing at least 80% of your tracker at least 5 days a week. 80% meaning you don't always skip over the same thing just because you don't like it, but doing your best and forgetting the rest. And I know last week we kind of touched on the power of 3 and making sure that you're doing 3 of each thing, whether that be making sure you're getting your daily post in and then spending, time connecting with 3 people, inviting 3 people, adding 3 people to your network. And then when you do that and you get really good at that, double it. And let's do 6. Then at that point, you'll be committed to it. So you just want to do at least 80% of your tracker 5 days a week. And then decide what your plan is going to be for May ending. What are your goals for June? What goals do you have set for yourself? My goal for you is to hit Success Club and add on at least 2 new preferred customers or coaches, because that will rank you up. Sorry, that says April 30th. I forgot to update that. I'm terrible about that, you guys. That will rank you up and help you to unlock that team cycle bonus, which obviously is something I want for you. It's not me. It doesn't affect me directly. It's not affecting my business or my income when you do those things. I want you to do them for you because that means you're going to start earning more of an income. And I want that for every coach on our team, is to unlock those income earning potentials so that you can, have a business that's going to work for you in all seasons of life, that will allow you, that freedom within your schedule to be able to say, hey, I want to take off, on this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend and I want to enjoy my family. Great. You can do that. And guess what? You'll keep earning an income even while you're not working, because you have that residual income that's going to continue earning for you based off of the volume of your team. So all of that's to say, those are my thoughts for you. I want you to set some new goals though, as we head into this new month. And as you're wrapping up this training and finishing all of this training, my goal for you is to lean into the Power Hour opportunities that we have, or catch some of the recorded ones and start committing to your tracker, 80%. 80% of the time, making sure that you're getting that done. Because if you do that, I know that you will see results in your business and you'll start bringing on new clients, which is going to hold you even more accountable on your own journey and help you to start earning that income as well. So that's all we have for today. Britton, thanks for being on live. I know Sabrina's at work, so 12 p.m. is a hard time for her, but do you have any questions? Anything you need help with? Any thoughts?